Welcome to the city of Los Angeles. This is known for entertainment, music, and of course, fashion. But I'm here today to talk not about fashion, but about real estate. I would like to speak to a realtor to find out the flavor that investment in property could offer in this city. So let's have a go. I'm here with Femi Ajetilabe. He is a realtor with Pacific Realty, and we're here to explore the Los Angeles property market. Well, thanks for coming on our show.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Look, let's just kick it off. Why would any investor want to invest in the Los Angeles market?
Why not? LA is, for me, LA is the most beautiful city in the world. It has a very good location. We were talking about the Mediterranean weather the other time, and imagine having that weather throughout the year. So this is a prime destination for tourists. So every time tourists come into the United States, this is like the #1 destination for them. And because of that, it boosts the property market here. There's always a great demand for properties, either as an investor or as someone renting. So if you're an investor and you're looking to invest in properties in anywhere in the United States, this is the #1 destination because of that great demand for properties. And the year-on-year appreciation for anything you buy here is greater than any other part of the United States. So for those reasons, the weather, the location, the beaches, everything, you cannot beat Los Angeles when it comes to real estate. Yes.
You're selling it to me already, I must say.
The city sells itself.
Yes. Let's just unravel it a bit more, shall we? Let's look, you talk a bit about the it being a great market. Market is defined by the profit one could make.
Yes.
So let's look at the price.
Okay.
Take me through the price. What's the average price in Los Angeles?
It's really hard to say an average price for Los Angeles because Los Angeles is such a big city. And it's a city made up of many other cities. So like where we are right now, we're in the South Bay area of Los Angeles. And the South Bay is named because it's on the south of the Bay of Santa Monica. So you have cities like Inglewood, Hawthorne, you have Torrance, you have Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, Rancho Palos Verdes, and those areas.
You've got Beverly Hills and
yeah,
Hollywood.
Those areas are some of the most expensive real estate anywhere in the world. And when you live in South Bay, you go to Beverly Hills, you go to Malibu, you go to Bel Air, Holmesby Hills. There's so many, you know, it's a large expanse of real estate. So it's hard to say average price for Los Angeles.
I'm going to have to press you. Let's say Inglewood, for example.
Inglewood.
Tell us which part of LA Inglewood is and what's average price
Inglewood is very central. Inglewood is a very, very nice location in Los Angeles. It's like 5-10 minutes away from LAX, the airport, the main airport here. It's not far from downtown LA. It's not too far from Beverly Hills and the rest. It's like 10 minutes from the ocean, the Pacific Ocean. And the average price, if you're looking at a single family home for 2-3 bedrooms, you're starting from around maybe like 350,000, 400,000, and could go up to like 600,000 depending on the location within Inglewood itself. Another great thing about Inglewood is the Los Angeles Rams, which is the NFL team, which just relocated to LA last year. They're building a brand new, almost a $2 billion stadium, not too far from where we sit right now. So because of that, the property values are going up. So there's a lot of activities going on real estate wise in Inglewood right now, which is getting everybody talking and everybody's excited about the city.
So investors could look at places like
Inglewood.
So let's just look a bit more on Inglewood. So now we know the average price for Inglewood. What about the average rent? So you have a buy-to-let investor who's coming in to LA wanting to invest. His yield is based on the rent he gets. So tell us a bit about the kind of yield.
For a single-family home, you could get rent from like $2,500 for like 2-3 bedroom to maybe $3,500 for a single-family home. So, like I said, also it depends on. There's some great parts of Inglewood that could command more rent than that. There's some that may not command up to that. So Inglewood, then also we have properties called multi-unit properties where you can have two. A multi-unit is anything that's more than one unit. So the single-family home is one unit. A condominium is one unit. If you have 2 to 4 units, you're talking about residential income properties. Anything over 4 units, you're talking about commercial properties. So multiple units from 2 units up, because you have multiple families living within a shared area, your investment, your rents will be higher, and your investment value will be higher also based on that.
So, Inglewood average price 300,000, average rent about 2,000 to
2,500, 2,500.
So we're talking about a yield of about 5 to 6% yield. So the argument is, if you buy a multi-family unit,
you have greater yield. And also, don't forget the fact that most people that buy properties in Los Angeles or Inglewood in Los Angeles areas, or Southern California where we are, they buy it because of the appreciation of the property. Some people don't really have much yield in the first few years, but because property values go up every year or even every month, it's not unusual to have someone buy a property today and in 6 months, the value is going to buy $50,000. In a year, yes, it happens. It could be even $100,000.
Well, it seems like Los Angeles is a great place to be.
Yeah, because the demand, simple economics, it's about the demand and supply. The demand for properties in Los Angeles is so great. And the supply, I mean, most of the properties have been built already. So the demands tend to be greater than the supply. So because of that, and the weather brings people here all the time. People want to come to the ocean, they want to see the beaches, they want to be around here.
Yes,
so this is the place to be.
Yeah,
and you know how beautiful the city is.
Well, talking about beauty, let's just look at Beverly Hills and Hollywood.
Yes.
Around the world.
Yes, everybody knows Hollywood and Beverly Hills. That's where the stars, the entertainers.
The prices there. I mean, where the stars
Those places, we're talking of the millions. So we can start from some properties would be like the low 1 million, 1.2, 1.5, and it could go up to 10 million in some places. It could go up to, because they tend to have big property sizes compared to other parts of LA. And with real estate, it's all about the location. So you could have properties of 10 million, 20 million in Beverly Hills, in Bel Air, in Malibu. And, the Playboy Mansion was just sold sometime last year for $100 million.
That's
so
a lot of money.
It's a lot. It's chicken feed for some people, but it's a lot of money for the rest of us. So it's sold for $100 million, and there are properties in this town that sell for up to that and even more.
Now I see why the market is.
It's a very vibrant market.
Yes. Let's move to procedure.
Okay.
Assuming you have a foreign investor looking to invest in this market,
okay,
the Los Angeles market, what's the procedure? Take me through the procedure from the time they see the property all the way to closing.
Okay, so let's assume that they have a realtor, a broker they're working with already. So we could send them some properties based on what they're looking to spend. So if it's someone who's looking to spend below $1 million, we look for properties in certain parts of Los Angeles. If you're looking to spend over $1 million, up to 10, we go to other parts of Los Angeles. So we just need to know how, since they're not based in the US, we need to know how they're going to fund their purchase. Will they be paying cash, which makes life easier for everybody, or will they be getting a loan? If they're going to be getting a loan, we need to get put them together with a bank that's able to do international loans. And with that, they expect them to come in with like 40% of the purchase price. So
when you say come in, the bank
the
will
down
expect
payment,
them to have a deposit.
A deposit of 40%. We call it down payment here, but deposits of 40%. Then the bank, then the bank will fund the others remaining 60%. So I mean, there are procedures involved with that. I don't know if we have the time to go into all that here.
Well, there's not so much the time. So they then put in an offer on the property.
Yes.
And then what happens after that?
We write the offer for them on the property. We'll send it to the sellers. The seller accepts the property. We go into escrow. There's something called escrow here, which is a third party which comes between, an impartial third party which comes between the seller and the buyer to transact the whole thing. So the escrow period could be between 30 days to 45 days.
So
It could be shorter.
An escrow is the body that holds the deposit.
Deposits, yes.
Until closure.
Until closure. Until closing, and any document that needs to be exchanged could be done through escrow between the two parties. So escrow holds the deposit until the whole transaction is over. Then the deposits with the balance of the money which is coming from the bank will be sent through escrow or the title company to the seller. And escrow takes care of the taxation parts, whatever needs to be sent to the government. You know, Uncle Sam wants their money every time you sell something. So everything will be handled by
Uncle Sam. Who's
Uncle Sam. That's the United States government, the IRS, you know. So we just, we use that loosely. Yes.
Might not understand that.
Okay.
So he then does that. He goes to closing, and then prior to closing, is there any kind of inspection that takes place?
They do the title search. They make sure there are no issues with the property we're buying. They make sure there are no liens, you know, like someone, if you owe someone money, you owe a contractor money, they could put a lien on the property. So which makes it not too desirable to buyers. But escrow makes sure that if there are any liens, the title company will search for all those liens and make sure all those people are paid, so that the lien is like a debt. So you don't want the new buyer, the investor, buying a property that already has some massive debts on them. So all those things will be sorted out during escrow, and they'll be paid off before the buyer gets, the seller gets their money at the close of escrow, yes.
So it then goes on to close, and upon closing, title transfers.
Yes, the money coming from the buyer or the buyer's bank will go through title, and title transfers money to escrow. Escrow sorts out everybody, the government, the seller, the agent, everybody will be sorted out through escrow.
Ownership transfers from the
ownership,
seller.
yes, the grant deed will be signed over during the period of escrow.
I see. So, it's very interesting how you do it here. You seem to have two companies, as it were, in one transaction. You have the escrow and the title company.
They kind of work together.
It's amazing because in England you have an attorney that does.
In some parts of the United States too, in the East Coast, New York, I think they use attorney too. So you know, America is like a country of 50 different countries.
So you're saying that in New York they have, similar to the British, where you have an attorney for the buyer, an attorney for the seller, nobody else.
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, of course you're here.
Yes, I know this market very well, so I can speak to what happens here.
Yes, of course. Okay. So just moving on. I noticed when you were speaking, you mentioned that a mortgage could be obtained by foreign buyers. Is that the case?
Yes.
A foreign buyer who is not resident here in the US can get a US.
The mortgage are easier to obtain if you live in the US, because if you're resident in the US, you have a social security number. They could use that to trace your credit history. You have a job here, they could easily call your employers and do, there's a thing called verification of employment.
Yes.
So you have credit cards, bank statements, those things are easy to verify. But if you don't have any of those because you're not based here, you're not employed here, then the expectation is greater. If you live here, you can do 3.5% deposit or 5% deposit and get a loan. But because you don't live here, you don't have this history, they could easily check out. They put more burden on you to bring more money into the transaction. So that's why most of them will ask for like 40%.
I see.
And they will now need to liaise with your bank over in the UK to make sure that, they could easily get the balance to close the transaction.
If the investor is in the UK.
If the investor is in the UK. If the investor is here or other parts of the world, we can do similar things also. Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
It's interesting that you mentioned about foreign buyers being able to get a mortgage here. It's no wonder that the Los Angeles market is very buoyant and everybody wants to be here.
Yes.
Fantastic. And you were talking about Beverly Hills. I mean, I drove past it. It's a beautiful place.
It is. It's stunning. It's stunning. Yeah, it's beautiful there. It's and rich investors, considering the best place to invest in Los Angeles, everything depends on how much the investor can afford to invest. If someone has millions of dollars to invest, we can always go to Hollywood, Beverly Hills, Bel Air, Hornsby Hills. We can go towards Malibu. We can go to the coastal areas along the beach, Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, Newport Beach. There's so many beautiful, LA is filled with all these great landscape areas. Rancho Palos Verdes, one of the most stunning areas in the country. Nice mountainous view facing the ocean. So depending on how much you're looking to invest, if you're looking to invest below the $1 million range, we can come within inland Los Angeles. We can come to Hollywood, Inglewood, Halton, Gardena, Glendale, Pasadena. There's so many different nice areas to invest in.
That's good to know. And finally, for investors looking to tap into the student market, where's the best place to invest for student accommodation?
There's so many great places to invest in Los Angeles to attract students. There are two great schools in LA. One is UCLA, which is known worldwide, and there's also USC, University of Southern California, which is very renowned for its football programs. UCLA is in the Westwood area, which is close to Beverly Hills, Hollywood area, and USC is by downtown LA. So if an investor buys properties around those areas, you can always attract considerable amount of students. So you'll always be in demand in those areas. And there's so many other colleges around the whole of LA. Long Beach is another area that has a great school. We've not talked about Long Beach yet, but there's some very good properties in Long Beach. The downtown Long Beach area is very buoyant. It's very beautiful. It's along the beach also. So, and there are a lot of students population around there. So if you're looking to attract the student population, there are a lot of foreign students also in this place, that from the Chinese markets, from all parts of Asia, from Europe also. So if you want to attract students, they're very, very good locations that we can take you to, and you can invest in.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. Los Angeles is a great place to invest, student market. Areas like Inglewood and other areas where the yield is very high and capital appreciation is great. That's what the experts are saying about this market. Femi, do you mind if we view one of your properties just to get a sample of the properties you have here
why not?
in Los Angeles?
Sure, let's do it.
Thank you. Let's go have a look. Thanks very much.
Let's go. You can get it anywhere else.
Wow.
This is April, 9 a.m. and
that's truly amazing.
So
fantastic. Let's see what you have to offer. Thanks very much. Oh, very kind. Thank you. Fantastic. That's
so it's beautiful.
That's
Everybody
good,
loves
good
the
to
weather
know.
when they come here.
Thank you. Well, we're here. Femi has agreed to show us one of the properties, and let's see what Los Angeles has to offer. Come right in. Yes. Oh, thank you. That's very kind. Beautiful property. Oh, thanks very much. Thank you.
So welcome to this beautiful single-family home.
That's fantastic. Yes, wow, this is nice. Is this the sitting room?
This is the sitting room. We call it living room here, but I understand you guys call it sitting room in UK.
Yes.
This is a well-known investment property, so investors bought this place and fix it up, and you can see everything is brand new on the inside. This is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom single-family home that sits on almost 6,000 square foot of land mass. And
yes.
The property itself is almost 1,800 square feet, so it's a very good.
It's quite a big size property, and it's a 3-bedroom property.
3-bedroom, 2 bathrooms, yes.
Wow, and how many toilet, you call it bathroom here?
Bathroom, yeah. Weird, right?
Yeah.
All the bathrooms, you got the toilet, yes.
That's
so
fantastic.
2 of those and have 3 bedrooms.
Fantastic. Let's see the remainder part of what's over here.
This leads us into. This is a bathroom here.
Okay. Right, so there's a bathroom. So that's the bathroom. Right. Okay. Is that for visitors or for
Yes, because it's very close to the sitting room. This will be easily accessible to guests, visitors that come to the house to see.
Okay, that's very beautiful. And then what are these?
These are closet spaces. If you need to put things up, props, anything you want to put away here, dishes.
Yes.
You can easily put them here.
And you've got plenty of storage space.
You have books, anything you want to store, you can store them here.
Fantastic. And what's this here?
This is a bedroom. So this is one of the 3 bedrooms. And it comes with a closet.
It's got a closet.
And this is a good view of the Level property.
Yes.
So the closet is a good sized closet that lets you put in your clothes, shoes, whoever's staying there.
It's very spacious, isn't it? It's a very spacious property. Absolutely fantastic. Well, so with the bedroom, so it's there's no upstairs, it's all downstairs. So this is a bedroom, and you've got a toilet over there and a storage space. Fantastic. Okay. And then anything else in this property?
Yes, let's go and show you the kitchen.
Yes.
The kitchen.
This is a spacious kitchen.
It's a beautiful kitchen. It's very well done.
Yes.
All the utensils, everything here, the dishwasher, the cooker, everything is brand new.
Right.
Nice area here, size area for whoever is cooking. A lot of space here. If you want to host guests, you can also have a seat on that side and serve the meal.
Yeah. So this one here, that's the dishwasher.
This is a dishwasher.
Very nice.
Brand new. You can still see that the tag is still
Yes. Yes.
So you want to wash your dishes, this is where they go into.
Yes. Let's just see again the dish. Yes. That's fantastic. Wow. And it's brand new.
It's brand new. Everything
Excellent.
house here is brand new.
Excellent. And you have the cooker. Is this gas or electric?
This is gas. This is gas cooker.
Right. Fantastic.
We have a lot of closet spaces here, cabinets, rooms,
Yes.
for dishes, for cups, for everything.
Yes. You have,
A lot of space here.
you've got plenty of spaces. You have plenty of spaces. Wow. Okay. I can see why it's on a large piece of land. It's very spacious. And what's in here? Let's see.
This is extra room also. It's this is the washer and dryer.
Yes.
So you have the washer and dryer here. You want to do laundry.
Yes.
That's a plug-in area. So you have the washer on this side and the dryer. And once you buy them, they plug them in for you right here. And there's a lot of storage rooms upstairs.
Plenty of spaces. Plenty of storage space. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. That's excellent. Wow. You got, and it's a huge. You could see the.
Good size.
Yes.
Good size kitchen. You can put a dining set out there if you want.
Yes.
Or as a dining area.
Oh, excellent. So let's see what else this property has to offer. I've seen the kitchen.
One bedroom and one toilet.
Yes.
Second toilet is right here.
Right.
Second bathroom here.
Yes.
There is
So that's it's very spacious.
very spacious. A lot of nice size store also.
So it's got a wash basin.
It has 2 sets. Good solid bathroom here.
Yes.
One for the man, one for the woman.
Yes. That's fantastic.
The toilet is set right
And
here.
the toilet is there.
The bathtub is right here.
Right. Where's the bathtub? So it's over there.
You have a tub and a shower
Yes.
in here.
And I love the tile. The tile is fantastic.
Beautiful.
I love the beautiful tile. And I love the floor tile.
The floor, everything is new.
I love the floor tile. It's very
Beautiful.
And what's that over there? What's this over there?
This is, when you're using this place to sort out the stain, so that this place doesn't get fogged up.
Right.
And it gets overwhelming with the stain, so
Right.
this sorts it out.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So fantastic, okay. It's very, very great. Is there anywhere else that one needs to... So this is the second bedroom, is it?
This is the second bedroom here. This is another room. Similar to the first room we saw,
Yes.
It's smaller than the first room.
Right.
It's a good size room.
Yes.
Nice size windows,
Yes.
giving you view of the outside. More sunshine coming in during the day. Very beautiful.
It's absolutely nice. I love the floor. We call it laminate flooring. I don't know what you call it here.
We call it
Do you call it salmon laminate flooring or wood flooring? So if you have a tenant, the advantage
They're
is
easy to clean. They're easy to clean. They don't, if you have carpets or rug, like you call it, those ones are difficult to clean, but these ones are easy to clean. Just put a good wet cloth on it
and then clean it and then put in a new tenant without having to change the
You
carpet.
don't have to change it every time you have a new tenant. And if there's anything that needs to be replaced, they're easy to do also.
Right, so the advantage here is one of cost, because if you have a carpet, you have to keep changing it.
Yes.
Excellent, well, thank you very much. Is there anything else with this property?
There's another room here.
Okay, so what's this room?
This is the third bedroom. We don't say there are 3 bedrooms here.
Yes.
So this is another room. That's closet space.
So that's a closet space over there.
So any room that has a closet will consider it a bedroom.
Oh, I see. It's not considered. So,
You might be able to
so is that a closet over there?
This is a closet right here. Let me this way. So that's a closet space.
Right.
Hanging clothes and
Right.
shoes.
Fantastic.
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 So
Okay.
it's good size also.
So that's another bedroom. It's a reasonable size
It is,
bedroom.
yes.
And I love the window.
These are double glazed window.
Yes.
They're good for.
And you call it double glazed windows.
Yeah, they're good for energy conservation, so that you don't spend a lot of money on maintaining the heating or cold in the room here.
Yes.
So this is a really nice room.
And when it's hot, I know LA is quite hot.
In the summertime, maybe sometimes, but not always.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So these are really nice. They help you with energy conservation.
Fantastic. Okay. Thank you.
So there's one more room.
There's one more room. Fantastic. Let's see what the other. Already I'm taken aback. What's this?
This is like a family room.
Yes.
That's a fireplace area. So
Is that a fireplace?
yes, this is a place where the family can come and sit down. You can host guests.
I love the fireplace. Look at the size of it.
It's a really good size. So when it turns on, it can heat up this place very well.
Yes. And what's that gate over?
That's like an exit to the outside. You can easily get into the lot.
Yes.
Here, from the other door from one of those bedrooms.
Right, so you could park your car and then come right in
You
here.
can park the car and come in through this entrance, or coming through the entrance that we came in through.
Yes.
So whichever.
And so would this be a bedroom?
It's not really a bedroom because it doesn't have a closet.
It doesn't have a closet.
So this is more for a family room, like a playground room. If you have
So how many bedrooms is this again?
3 bedrooms and two toilets.
Two toilets and 2 sitting rooms.
Yeah. So this is like a second sitting room.
Fantastic.
So it gives you that extra space.
I love this
It's good for kids. If you have kids, you want them to go play around.
Yes.
This will
Or if you could turn it into a small library for those who like
be
just
small office space.
office space, of course. And they just drive in here without the children disturbing them and you just come right in and do your work. And go and say hello to the family.
Private space. Yes.
Fantastic. And what's the price for this kind of
The
property?
asking for this is $579,000.
Okay.
So it's you can see everything is brand new.
And which part of Los Angeles is this property?
Inglewood.
This is in
The city of Inglewood, which is a very central located city. It's like 5-10 minutes away from the airport, and it's central to almost everything in Los Angeles. So this is a very nice city to invest in if you're looking to invest.
to invest in property.
California, yes.
I love the shape of this property. I love the color. I love the laminate flooring. I love the space. I mean, it just draws me in. The market is exactly as you said, isn't it? Well, listen, it's a pleasure for you. It's really a pleasure meeting you. And
It's my pleasure.
and you know, I'm going to be one of those who might be coming here to see one of my cars. Okay.
Don't bring up all, all the investors. I'm willing to have them.
Okay. All right. Well.